And I just want to give you some details about, for example, where are the toilets. You have some toilets next door or also downstairs. And remind you that today we have a hybrid meeting, so we have people online. And this meeting will be recorded for educational purposes. So smile, you have a camera there. And also when you come in front, remember you have the camera there. So to interact with the audience, you can see on this camera and with the audience online. Also, to have a good audio, we will use these microphones. So make sure you clip them on your clothes when you come in front. And one more thing to start tonight is that today is the 3rd anniversary of Manchester Communicators. So it's an important date. That is why tonight's theme of this meeting is sweet like a candy, remembering this 3rd anniversary of the meeting. So without further ado, I now would like to introduce the Toastmaster of the day, Paul.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Welcome. So good to be back on the main stage. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paul Donald, and I've been part of this Toastmasters community for just about a year now. And today, we would like to celebrate, first of all, actually, before I jumped into our theme, I would like to acknowledge our wonderful community. Because about 2 weeks ago, we had a wonderful barbecue in the park. And I want to say thank you to everyone who made it happen. Toastmaster Sam in particular, she's not here today. She's on holidays, but we've got another member who was heavily involved. Our dear President Ola, can see him here. Yes, here we go. So let's just give a round of applause to everyone who made it happen. Because this is what I love about Toastmasters. We come together, we have some food, we play some sports. Of course, some people choose to chicken out when it comes to play table tennis against me. I'm not going to call any names. All I'm saying, maybe this person is in the building right now. Maybe he's a president. But that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make here, fellow Toastmasters, is that today we are celebrating the theme, sweet like a candy. And the reason why I chose this particular theme is because the way I view our Toastmasters community is like a box of chocolate, like candies, because we all bring different flavors, different tastes. And what I want to see from all of you tonight who are in the audience is to come here on stage and unpack yourself. Show us your colors, show what you're made of, show us where you come from and tell us your story. Now, about the organization of our meeting. So first off, we will start with the impromptu speeches, which will be run by our Toastmaster Lee. Should I navigate him here? Yes, here we go. By Toastmaster Lee. Then we're going to jump into our speaking section. We've got 3 dynamic speakers. We've got first speaker Zuba, who's giving his icebreaker. Then we've got our Toastmaster Ola as a second speaker, and then the third speaker will be Toastmaster Julian. And then the third section will be the evaluations. That's where our speakers get a chance to get some feedback on their speeches. And in my opinion, that's probably one of the most important parts of the meeting, because that's where you get to learn, and that's where you get to get better as a speaker. So what am I missing on? I think that's pretty much it. I have to introduce my team before we jump into the first part. So first off, I want to call on stage our timer, Diba. Please come on stage and tell us a little bit about your role.
Hello everyone, I'm Diba and I will Hello everyone, I'm Diba and I will be your timer for today. So my role today is to time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and also the evaluators. So I have this traffic light system, which indicates the time that you have left. For table topic speakers, when I show this green card, it means you have 1 minute left. When I show the amber card, it means you pass the 1 minute and 50 seconds mark. And when it's red, it means your time is up. The same goes to the speeches and also evaluators with different timings. And when it's red, it means the time is up. I think that's all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So next up, we go our counter. Tanya, please come on stage. Tell us a little bit about your own.
Hi everyone. So I'm usually a digital marketer and a training therapist, but I got a brand new job just a few minutes ago, and I'm going to be the our counter today. So any ahs, so and I'll be counting for every single speaker that's going to come up today. Thank you.
Right, and third is our grammarian, Roni, please.
Thank you, Paul.
Your boss.
So I'm going to be your grammarian today. So I'm going to introduce the word of the day. It is dilatory. That means causing a delay or be late. So you can use this while you're giving the speech. It will be great. Thank you.
All right, so
Shush.
think we're all set and ready. Oh, by the way, just to say, we've got this little pieces of paper. So once you give a speech, or those who are giving a speech, please take your time to provide some feedback for those who come on stage. So here you've
You're
got
cut
this.
off. You're done.
I think you believe you've all got it. So yeah.
You're cut off.
Yep, thank you, Isabel. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to start our first section. And for that, I would like to call on stage our Toastmaster Lee, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. I was expecting the rain today, so I dressed accordingly. So today's table topic is all about humor and telling stories. A vital part of presenting when we come on stage is injecting some humor into your presentations to make the audience feel at ease. So I'm going to be calling up on some people at random or not at random, because I have a list as well. And what we're going to be doing is giving you a challenge to come on stage and give us an impromptu talk on that subject that I'm going to give you. So what we're going to do is talk about, the strapline is, the funniest thing happened to me when, now I'm going to give you the subject, the situation that's going to happen to you. And what you have to do is make up a funny story of what happened to you when you were doing that action. So let's call up on stage Jackie. Jackie, so what you're going to do is tell me the funniest thing that happened to you when you ordered some soup at the Thai restaurant. So complete this. The funniest thing that happened to me when I ordered some soup at the Thai restaurant. There you
Okay.
go.
This way it goes. Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, very welcome guests. Well, you'll never guess what happened to me when I was at the Thai restaurant. I ordered soup, but I did not realize that the Thai restaurant soup was not liquid soup, but it was sort of soupy noodles. So I ordered these soupy noodles thinking it was just pure soup. So I put my spoon into the soup. I went to eat my soup. And of course I couldn't. You can't eat noodles with a soup spoon, can you? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Have you ever tried that? Stupid, isn't it? So what I had to do was I then had to get my fork. So I dipped my fork into this soup that was not really soup, but was noodles, did this, and it flicked everywhere. It went all over the tables, all over my friend who I was eating with, all over the tablecloth, all over the waiter who was actually standing there. So did I feel stupid? But maybe it was my fault because I should have checked that this soup was proper soup and was liquid soup. and was not noodly soup. So was it funny? No, it wasn't funny. It was probably more embarrassing than funny, but at least I gave you a little bit of a laugh, perhaps.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jackie. And next person on the stage is Sam. Come on up. There you go.
Show us where Sam.
Yep, I've got Sam written down. It isn't Samson, it isn't Samuel. It's definitely Sam. So your line that you've got to complete. The funniest thing happened to me when I was at the Starbucks counter collecting my skinny chai latte.
Okay, so I was at the Starbucks, got my latte, and had to get one for my friend. And the funny thing happened that I forgot to put the cap on. So as I went to put my drink down, my other drink was in this hand, and the latte went all over the table. So it was funny for me, but probably not as funny for my friend. So that friend, we haven't had a coffee since, but actually, I'm sure when I promise next latte, it will be have a cap on it. So yeah, that's.
Thank you, Sam. Well done. Right, let's call up on stage. We're going to be looking at, I'm going to pick somebody at random now. Okay, Abby, come on up. So your statement is the funniest thing happened to me when
Funniest thing happened to me when
I was changing the bed sheets.
I was changing the bed sheets.
Oops.
The funniest thing happened to me when I was changing the bed sheets. Right. So I don't change my bed sheets often because I'm a busy gal, right? Okay, so when I first changed the bed sheets, which is maybe a month ago, open the duvet. Fine, calm. Next one is the bedding, right? And what do I find? I find just like this disgusting sweat patch because it's been so hot. And I was like, ooh. And I looked around and my friend sat there and then she just looks and is like, that's disgusting. The end.
Mr. Abbott. Moving swiftly on. We won't talk about the wet patch. Right, let's call up on stage. Is it gone? Gone now. Come on up. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can just hold it, it's fine. So the funniest thing happened to me when the chicken crossed the road.
Chicken cross the road?
Yeah,
Did I just make something up?
yeah, just go with the flow.
Can I introduce myself?
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, my name is Gona. Paul brought me here today. I did not think I'll be here speaking to everyone, so nice to meet you all. When a chicken crossed the road, I have a dog, his name is Pablo. He's an American bully. He weighs about 40 kg. And whenever he sees an animal, he will just bolt it no matter what, trying to catch the animal. And what he would do is pull really hard and drag me across the road. Because he's 40 kg, he has the capacity to do that. Feels like my arm's about to get out of the socket. But yeah, that's all I can come up with.
All right. So who is online? Let's have a look. No? Right. Okay. So next on the list, we have, who shall we go for? There you have it. It's Sweet child, right?
No, it's, oh.
Yeah,
Colin.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Uche, yeah.
Okay. So your subject for this tonight, the funniest thing happened to me when I got into my seat on the airplane.
Okay. I feel like there's a personal vendetta against me, but okay, hi guys. So the funniest thing happened when I got in a seat on an airplane. So have any of you flown with Ryanair? Want to see hands up? Bold face, love it. So I was flying over to Greece a couple months ago, girls trip, hi Tanya. And you know, I don't like to pay for any extras. I don't believe in giving any of them my money. So I got random seat selection. I think it was like 12A or something. You know, A is like the window seat, A to F. And I was like, oh my gosh, first time random seat, I get a window seat. So I was really excited. And I also, when I got on the plane, or just about as I was about to get on the plane, I saw there was no people on that row. So I was like, I'm sitting alone. I get a window seat. So first thing, I sit down, and of course, it's the only seat without a window. It's just covered. I was like, wow, what are the odds? What are the odds? Okay. And then, but I'm like, at least I get my own seat to myself. And I'm like, yeah, I get to, stretch my legs, or at least stretch half of it. I don't know what kind of space that I try to manage there. And then 30 seconds before takeoff, I'm super excited. I'm like, yes, this is, probably my best Ryanair experience minus the covered window. And then long and behold, we're just about to close the gates, and Sarah and John walk in and take over the last two seats. So that was a funny story of the time that I got on a plane.
All right. Excellent. Next person on my list, or not on my list, is Julian. Come on. Your subject for tonight, the funniest thing happened to me when I was working out in the gym.
The funniest thing happened to me when I was working at the gym is, what do you think it was? No, don't say it. What do you think it was? No, don't say it. We all have accidents at the gym. Have not we? No, you are looking like, no, I haven't. Either of two, you don't go to the gym or you don't have accident. All right. I have to say that I'm very accident prone. Not really. But on this time, there was a lovely girl I wanted to impress. I mean, it's not now. It's been long time ago. Because although I look young, I have my age. Anyway, so it was this lovely girl. At least when I was looking at her, I say, yeah, she's lovely. Then there is another matter, as you might know, when you start speaking with some girls or with some boys, that they might look really good, but, well, you know what happened. Anyway, so I say, all right, I think I can pull up 80 kilos. How many of you can pull up 80 kilos on that press up? Anybody? 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 You, well, of course. You. There is always one. And I thought that day it was me. So I sit there. Oh, okay. First attempt, it didn't work out. Second attempt. Oh, a wind yellow already? No, no, it's okay. No. Third attempt. And I managed to lift the weight. Of course. The funny thing about this is that you have to lift the weight and get it back in position. And, generally, one muscle or one arm is stronger than the other. And this situation was that this arm imagine the situation. Me trying to be macho man, trying to, attract that lovely lady, to find that didn't work out. So that's a nice accident. It happened at the gym. And if it had not happened to you, lucky you guys.
And my last person on the list is Jordan. Jordan, the funniest thing happened to me when my dog started chasing a butterfly.
The funniest thing happened to me when my dog was chasing a butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The funniest thing happened to me when my dog was chasing a butterfly. My dog is a Yorkshire Terrier. I don't know dogs, so I don't know if that's a big one or a small one. I'm making it up. But my dog was chasing a butterfly, and in the busyness, in the heat of the day, in the heat of the weekend that we've had, my dog was running, and alongside the lake, there are plenty of fishermen, and they were casting their nets and casting the thing, looking for fish to catch. And as my dog was chasing the butterfly, it ran in between two fishermen. I was chasing after them, after the dog to call it back. And in doing so, my dog had knocked one man's fisherman's bait into the water. So that was one. And I tried to stop it and say sorry at the same time, whilst knocking the second guy into the lake as well. And so it was a double kill and double trouble and double the embarrassment. That's the time my dog chased a butterfly.
Do we have time for an encore? One more? Two more, yeah? Okay, great. So, Tanya, come on up. Come on. There you go.
Right, okay.
The funniest thing happened to me when I walked into the doctor's surgery.
Right, I don't know if I'm allowed, should I be talking about that? I'm not sure. Right, well, the funniest thing happened to me when I walked into the doctor's surgery. I don't really go to the doctors that much, actually. So I thought this time, I'll make it an annual trip. So I walked in, and I'm like, I'm a bit shy, actually, believe it or not. And my doctor was a middle-aged, plump man. And I said, you know what, doctor, I don't feel very well today. I haven't been feeling very well for a while now. I think I've got a bit of a pot belly. And he looked at me, he's like, all right, okay. Well, I've got a bigger belly than you, so should we perhaps compare? And I thought, well, this isn't going very well, because I don't think I've had that kind of conversation at the doctor's before. Thought, oh gosh, is that what happens at the doctor? So I thought, okay, I'll just, lift my stomach up, and, because it's the doctors, you'll have to show him bits of your body that you don't really show anyone other than your partner. He lifted his belly, and I was like, oh, okay. And then we sat next to each other and we compared how popped our bellies were. And I have to say, mine was bigger than his. So gave me some drugs. I was on my way, and I thought, oh, never again am I going to the doctors, maybe until next year. So yeah, so that was me, and that's what happened to me at the doctors. Thank you.
Oops. Right. Judy. So stitch up. Stitch up. You've got the best one.
Okay.
And it goes with the theme of the evening. The funniest thing happened to me when I put the sweetest candy in my mouth.
Okay.
What happened?
Okay, guys. So the funniest thing happened to me when I put the sweetest candy in my mouth. So usually I don't eat a lot of candies, but today was Valentine's Day. And so, I had a special someone to impress. So, I head over to Tesco and I buy the nicest candy you can find. What candy do you guys like? Huh? Haribo? Haribo. So I go and I buy some Haribos and, I go in there, we're eating the Haribos and I get one, I put it in and I'm enjoying it and I'm trying to look a little seductive. And I open my mouth and it's the Haribo ring. And she takes it as a sign and she says, yes, 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 a million times yes. And I'm like, wow. So I just swallow it. And yeah, we're not married now, but yeah, it's a little awkward. And that was the funniest thing that happened to me when I took a candy. Thank you.
Thank you. And one last one, just for leaving the Toastmasters. Come on up, Alexia. Your question, yeah, your question is, and this is an impromptu one, it's not written down here. The funniest thing happened to me when I went to the Toastmasters meeting.
Hello, everyone. Caught me off guard there. So I'm going to tell you a story tonight about the funniest thing that happened to me when I went to my first Toastmasters meeting at the Manchester Communicators. So I was in the room, the table topics, I was listening to everyone's speeches. Yeah, really like that. And it always looks so quite easy almost when you sat in the audience and you only realize how difficult it is when you're actually up here and all eyes are on you and you think, oh God, hope they don't call my name next. And then there was a speech and somebody mentioned toilet, somebody mentioned doctors and I thought, actually, yeah, I could do with a wee. So I thought, right, I'll wait for my moment. It was all quiet. It was the end of the speech. I thought, right, I'm going to shoot off. So I went to the toilet. I came back, sat down. It was all quiet again, peering round. And lo and behold, my name got called. An impromptu speech. So here I am. Funniest thing that happened to me when I came to the Toastmasters meeting.
Thank you. Some fantastic stories there. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions. And that ends the table topics for this evening. And you want me to do the?
No, it's fine. I'll do it.
Let's go. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Right. Thank you, Toastmaster Lee. That was a wonderful table topic section. Let's give a round of applause. All right. So let's take some time to vote for the best table topic. If you look at your piece of paper at the bottom there, you can vote for the best table topic, second best, and the most improved one. Oh, their names. Yes. Right. So first one we had, well, from the. Okay, I'm just gonna say the name. So I can't remember the Lee. Jackie first. Jackie first. Then we had Sam. Abby.
When you hear your name, please stand up so everybody can see who you are.
Yeah. So Jackie was first. Sam was second. Here we go. Abby was third. Please stand up. Then we had Gona, Uche, Julian, Jordan, Tanya, Chidi, and Alexei. Yes. Yeah, just realized there was quite a lot. Just to remind, by the way, this is the word of the day. So the idea is that you use that word in your speech. So whoever uses the most is essentially a winner. Okay, and we're gonna give you something at the end, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know yet. What does it mean, Ronnie?
Means to be delayed or causing some delay.
Yes, to be delayed or causing some delay. So I'm gonna put it here. So those of you going on stage, try and use this word, okay? Here we go. All right. So everyone voted. Yes, we can move on. Ola? Yes. Yes. Okay, so for our next section, I want to come to our first speaker, who's given an icebreaker. What that means essentially, he's given a first ever speech in Toastmasters community. It will be a speech about himself, I suppose. So the speech is from the pathway called Dynamic Leadership. So it's 5 to 7 minute speech. And for that, I would like to welcome on stage our Toastmaster Ziva. Woo!
That was a long wait. Yeah, hi. Thank you, Paul, for the introduction, and hello, fellow Toastmasters. So I'm doing my first icebreaker today. I'm pretty nervous. I can't remember the last time I've done a speech like this, probably back in school. So yeah, if I start waffling or forgetting my lines or what I'm saying, yeah, just bear with me and I'll yeah, carry on. So I am going to open up today with a question. And the question is, how many of you have done a personality test? Right, okay, so not a full house, but pretty much everyone. And that's great because that's the topic of my speech today. So it's about personality types and the importance of basically having different personalities. So I've always, from what I remember, I was always fascinated by human behavior and personalities, characters. And just to give you a bit about myself, I'm the youngest of 4 brothers. So as you can imagine, there was a lot of action happening in the house, a lot of drama. But I was the youngest, so I wasn't allowed to go out as much. So during that time, I would sit at home and I would observe what's going on. And I think I built up that personality trait of just observing people's behaviors. So my brothers are quite extroverted. They were going out quite a lot. They would get into trouble. And basically, I was quite introverted. So I would see the difference. And I think later on, I carried on and took that behavioral trait to university and came across a lot of different personalities. So I kind of like dig a bit deeper there and realized that actually a lot of people are wired differently. You know, they come from different backgrounds. They basically come from, they come from different backgrounds. They have different traits. They have different strengths and weaknesses. So it's important to understand, you know, what those strengths are, what those weaknesses are. So I'm going to share with you today 4 types of personalities. There's actually 16, and if you dig a bit deeper, there's actually 64 different types of personalities, right? However, I don't have time to run through all the 64 different personalities today, otherwise I'll be here until next week, and I'm sure you don't want to listen to my voice until then. So the 4 different types of personalities. The first one is the dominant personality, which is a very direct, decisive person. You may have come across them. They would just want to make the decision straight away. However, their weaknesses are that they can be a bit impatient and very direct. The second one is the inspirational people, the ones who come up with loads of ideas, you know, a lot of ideas, but can be quite impulsive at times in terms of what they're doing. The third one is the steady people who are quite supportive people. They are driven by their emotions. So a lot of the decisions they make are by their emotions. And then the fourth one is the compliant people who basically are calculating, they have to have a lot of data and a lot of risks. They need to look at all the information before they make decisions. However, their weaknesses, they can be quite critical. So I'm going to open up another question and ask, if you'll be listening, which personality types do you think you are? So who identifies with the first one, which is the direct, the doers, the decisive? Okay. The second one is the inspirational people who basically come up with a lot of ideas, can be quite impulsive at times. Okay, that's good. The third one is the steady people who are quite supportive, who are driven by their emotions, make their decisions, want to help people. Yeah. And the fourth one is the compliant people who basically are driven by a lot of data and analytics and make the decisions. And that's me as well. Yeah. So basically, as you can see, there's a lot of different personalities in the room, which is great because, it's great to look at, harness the strengths and weaknesses and basically focus on that. And I think, I don't know, I think I'm coming towards the end of my time. So I'll leave you with one of my favorite quotes by Albert Einstein. And I think that sums up the different types of personalities. So it is, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by their ability to climb a tree, then it will think it's stupid for the rest of its life.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Let's take a minute to give some feedback to our first speaker. Again, on a piece of paper on top, you can take a minute, just write down some feedback for our first speaker, and then Ola will come around to collect them. Maybe in the meantime, we can have some music. Okay, so let's finish now. I'll come around to collect all of them. Thank you, Mr. President, for doing a wonderful job. Is everyone done now? Right, so we've got all of them done. Okay. Yeah, so thank you to our first speaker. Well, I can definitely relate to what you were saying. I think I'm more of an inspirational one because even last time when I played table tennis with Ola, I was trying to inspire him and said, "Come on, Ola, don't give up, please. It's too easy to play you. Too easy." Well, Ola, don't give up. On that note, I would like to call our dear Toastmaster, our dear president. Yes, speaker number 2. Ola, to give us a speech from the pathway called Dynamic Leadership, with a speech titled My Leadership Style on a Chessboard. Please welcome on stage our president, Mr. Ola. We didn't give him a rest. Okay, guys, just a second.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and our extreme lovely members on the Zoom. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, everyone in our lives have a role to play. These are words that resonate in my heart and mind whenever I think about leadership. And today, I'll be speaking from the dynamic leadership, talking on the topic, my leadership style. But on personal revelation, I've tried to reveal how do I really lead. But it might interest you. Life itself, we all are leaders in different ways. And today, I'll be sharing with you my different leadership style based on my personality, based on my peer group preference, or based on the environment where I am or circumstances of the situation I tend to lead. And I'll be making this illustration with my best board game, which is chess. To those online, to be great for you to see the board. This is not just a board, but a game of the great minds. And as you can see, you have different players. The pawn, sometimes we all tend to believe is the smallest in the room, or the player you could always kick around. But this great piece have made me understand my leadership style could be a simple man, understanding my position in the room as someone who may not have the authority, may not have the title, but have the ability to make an influence towards personal development. Going strongly as small as it could be, there's always an opportunity for the pawn to grow and become somebody great. So sometimes in life, if you're working in an organization whereby you're starting on a locator, always remember, it could be the pawn, but if you know the right routes, you take the right step. Even you online, you could always be a better person. It could also interest you. I've also been a bishop on the board. As a bishop, I've been able to understand working hard with consistency and determination could make me move further, backward or forward in a diagonal line. And this has made me understand life itself will never be fair on you because life is never a bed of roses. But this has to make you remember you need to work hard, be determined, and lead with a good heart. And in time, things will fall in place to work out perfectly well for you. Also on this great board, you tend to have me as a knight. It might interest you. This is one of my favorite men on the board. As simple, lovely he is, he has the ability to move forward in a health shape. And while moving, this has made me understand part of my leadership skills, whereby in life as a leader, you could always make a mistake because you're not going to be the perfect one. So you have to be ready to take a step backward to retrace your style and learn to improve. It will also make you understand you can move forward by making pointer actions that will make you to be a better person towards continuous improvement. And that's why this man, as small as he is, as a knight, is one of my favorites. Peace. But also in life, we all have different dimensions. And this makes me remember this lovely short man here. I call him the rook. The rook is not just a piece you see, but it's a piece that provides guidance, that provides motivation. And being a father, being an uncle, being a brother, the rook part of me tends to explore out, whereby I show guidance to people coming behind me. And me also understanding the fact there are people above me I need to learn from. And we being the hook, I'm always ready to stand for each other. As I say, we all rise by lifting each other up with that great action. But you tend to understand, as humans, you could also want to be the king in the room or be the president of Manchester Communicators, which I'm having the privilege to stand, which at times that gives you an authority and power to be in charge of the room. The president of Manchester Communicators is speaking. Everybody, quiet. However, as a king, the power and authority could get into you. But always remember, you have a place, and so myself. So when I'm standing here as the president, No, it's just for a limited time. And that makes me remember never to abuse the position I hold because life is too short. And when you're living, ensure you make a positive impact to somebody around you. It is a turning circle. The present is one day going to be the pawn or going to go back to a circle. And this makes me understand and respect the female gender because I'll be talking about the favorite one of all, the queen on the board. The queen on the board is not just a queen. As my respect and salute to the all-female gender in this room, to make you understand, when the queen in me comes out, I understand as I'm strong and powerful as the members of people around my team. As a president, I can only succeed if I have the right VP, right committee members around me, or even as a family person, having the right people around you. And that part of the queen aspect of me comes out to understand in life, you can't have it all. You can't succeed without you surrounding yourself with the right set of people around you. And it's about you taking bold actions. So always remember, every piece on the board, it's very important. And they all have a role to play. Fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests on the Zoom, and in this gorgeous room, always remember, life is like a chess. You have to take positive decisions to make your life a better place. You have to remember your leadership style would swing at different points, but don't forget, we are all not the same, and everybody has a role to play. Remember the chess. Remember the little pawn that one day will rise to be a leader. And remember the king who one day will have to submit and leave the authority role. Life is too short, and I promise to always keep being a leader that will lead as a follower and follow as a leader. Toastmasters.
Well, thank you, Mr. President Ola. Please take a minute again to write some feedback for our second speaker. And I'll come around to collect. Sorry. Okay, so let's finish. I'm going to come around to collect the feedback. Yeah, everyone. All right, so let's move on to our third speaker, who will be Julian, and he will be giving us an educational speech titled, "What Were You Doing on the 17th of August, 2002?" So please welcome on stage Toastmaster Julian.
What were you doing on the 17th of August, 22? Yourself, what were you doing? Do you remember? No. Neither do I. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what I will be doing on the 17th of August 2022. That is in few days. Toastmasters International, the organization Manchester Communicators belong to, organizes every single year an international convention. That means that people from all around the planet gather in one spot, in one place. Last year was online. This year is on Tennessee, the States. But I'm not going there. No way. Very expensive. I will be following the convention via internet. Because now, surprise, surprise, hybrid events. Have you ever been in a hybrid event recently? I bet you have been. Anyway, the highlight of this convention is the World Champion of Public Speaking Contest. That means in this convention, in this contest, we will know who is the best public speaker in the whole plan. Well, actually, in the whole Toastmaster plan. But having said that, Toastmaster has around 200,000 members. So if you are the world champion of public speaking, trademark registered by Toastmasters International, by the way, you confidently say that you are good at public speaking. Now, anyone can become champion of public speaking, world champion of public speaking. All right, not maybe this year, because we have already done all contests and people from all over the world have competed against each other. So on the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, we'll see 10 people who have reached the final, and they will fight for that title. Somebody in this room this year was taking part in that contest, but to be honest, he was crap and he didn't qualify. That man was this one, Paul. He was crap because he didn't qualify, but I have to say several things. He had a club in the States and he became the champion of that club. So the club gave him this nice and heavy award. So yeah, he may be crap. We are not saying the opposite, but he showed that, hey, he's good. He was the best at his club. But not only that, he went to area contests. That means in a city, there are several clubs. Here in Manchester, we have 5 clubs. So Paul went and delivered a speech in front of people they have never seen him in the States, online. And believe it or not, he was crap. We all know. But he won this nice trophy as well. Very heavy, I have to say. That means that he may be crap, but he showed that he's good. I mean, he was the best speaker in that area in the States. What happened next is that he went to a division level. Now things are getting serious because the trophies are even heavier and bigger. And you know what you see here, no? You know what you imagine what is next. Okay, he didn't win. I mean, the trophy is bigger, but if you hold it, it's very light. However, Paul went and delivered a speech in front of an audience he had never met. He was online. He managed to put himself forward and say, look, I'm here. And he did quite well. This is 3rd position, isn't it? Not many people have done that. Anyway, we have another person in this club, few years back, that did the same, but arrived to the division contest, and believe it or not, he won. Please, Chira, come here. 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 This guy is crap as well. because he went to the district. You can see it. Yes, that's fine. I don't want to ascend you more. He went to the district, and despite all the effort, all the hours, all the coaching, all the training, he only qualified third. What disappointment. I could not believe it. So much time and money spent on you. Anyway, what I want to say is that Toastmasters International gives you an opportunity to shine, to push yourself outside your comfort zone. It is nice to come here and deliver a speech. Nothing happened, nobody's gonna judge you. But Toastmasters International has come up with a competition. And this is very important because when you go for an interview, you will feel the pressure. If you take part in a contest, it's recreating the same experience. So my suggestion is, for next year, please take the boldest step, as Ola says, and join the contest. Now, what do you need to do to become world champion of public speaking? First of all, being Toastmaster. How many of you are not Toastmaster here? Who is not Toastmaster? You are not, you are not, you are not, you are not, you are not. So if you want to become world champion of public speaking, the first thing you need to do is to join a club. Hopefully this one, but you can choose anyone. Second thing, you have to be a pay member. Of course, you can join, you don't pay more anyway. Third thing, you need to at least have complete level 2. When you join Toastmasters, you are giving a program that means to have delivered at least 5 speeches in front of the audience. Now, if you want to be world champion of public speaking, you need to work hard for it. The situation is that you still have 6 months to prepare for that. And in order to give you some training, some recreate experience, Toastmasters has organized another contest, which is humorous speech contest and evaluation contest. And this year, it's going to be hybrid. We are hybrid, so this is a good place to practice for that. What you have to do is join the club and come on the 3rd of October and deliver that funny speech. Of course, before that, let us know that you would like to be part in the competition. If you don't want to be part of the competition because it's not for you, fair enough. Come and support the speakers, either by being audience, either by being timer, either by being judge. Next meeting, I will be speaking of all the roles we need in order to run a successful contest. And this is very important, not only for the club, but for the speakers as well. Because if you want to win a contest, the first thing you need to know is the rules. And we will go over the rules in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, learned something new about myself today. Okay, so let's take a minute as well to give some feedback to our third speaker. By the way, so far no one used this word, so if anyone can fit it in, please try. Seconds. 9, 8, 5. Have you all given your feedback? Yeah, all done. Three, 1, time. Okay, so now we are going to move into our final section of the day, which is the evaluations. And for that, first off, I want to invite on stage. Okay, before we actually do that, we need to vote. We need to vote for the best speaker. If you could please look on top of your, or maybe it's at the bottom actually, at the bottom of this paper, and please vote for the best speaker before we forget about it. Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Chair. Yes, so our first speaker was Zubair. Second speaker was Ola, and the third speaker was Hulin. We'll do that. Right. Yes. No, it's just the speech that you use to evaluate. Yes. Good question. Yeah, everyone voted. Okay, everyone done. Okay, so now we can move on to our final section. And for that, first I would like to call on stage our Toastmaster Chira, who will be evaluating the table topics. Please welcome on stage Toastmaster Chira.
Thank you, Paul. So we had a round of table topics with 9 different speakers, and I thought everyone did a fantastic job, particularly the ones that came up here for the first time. It takes a lot of courage, so you should be very proud of yourself for coming up here and taking on the challenge. So I'm just going to go through some of the table topic speeches and just talk about some of the things that they did well and point out some areas where they could try out, explore, and maybe improve for next time. So first up, we had Jackie with soup at the Thai restaurant. I thought Jackie had a very strong introduction, came up here very confident, and had a greeting. You greeted the room, which I thought was nice and very fitting, considering it was a first table topic. And you were interactive. Interaction with the audience is always good to utilize. And Jackie asked us the question, have you ever tried that? And went into the details of the soupy noodle, which was very interesting. I thought maybe for next time, I'd recommend Jackie to really describe, go into a bit more detail of the situation, explore different aspects of what happened on that day, just to fill in with more content, because I thought there was more opportunity there that could have been utilized. Next up, we had Sam with the situation with the coffee. I thought you were very, very composed up here. Well done on that. You described the situation well with the situation with the coffee and the friend, and you demonstrated what was going on. So well done on that. Once again, I'd explore describing the situation in as much detail as possible, go into different ways, talk about how you felt, talk about what you could have maybe done, what other people said. Just explore that question more. Next up, we had Abby with changing the bed sheet, and you had a lot of humor there. I thought that was very good. You came out here strong, confident. You said, "I don't change my bed sheets that often," which I thought was very good. And then you went on to you really gauged the room, and then you found this opportunity to utilize your friend and said, "My friend was there." She was like, what was going on? So that was cleverly done. Good bit of improv skill there. Once again, I'd recommend just exploring that question more, throwing something brave in there. Just say, "I don't change my bed sheet because I don't have a bed," or something like that. just go crazy, just go wild with it. And yeah, just explore that. Do not worry, we're not here to judge. Next up, we had Gona. Spoke about the chicken crossing the road. Came up here and you utilized the time on stage well. Again, another tactic to use when it comes to table topics. Took your time, introduce yourself, tell that it was Paul that brought you here, and just got a bit of stage time there just to compose yourself. So that was very good. And then you went on the story about your pet dog. Again, perhaps an opportunity to explore that in more detail. I'd certainly recommend for next time. Next, we had Uche, seat on an airplane, going on holiday. Very confident, again, interacting, asking who in the audience is on a budget, flying on Ryanair. Very clever there. Window seat situation, you were describing the situation, going through what's in your head, expressing your emotions in the moment, which I thought was very well done. So good job there, Uche. Next, we had Julio in the gym trying to impress the ladies. Expanded on the question well. Spoke about gym situations, spoke about accidents, got interactive and saying, just normalize the situation. We've all been to the gym, we've all had accidents. And you demonstrated, that was very good. You demonstrated the stress, the anticipation, the agony of, I don't know if it was maybe the overwhelm from that person you saw or the weight itself. But again, well done on the job, on the delivery there, especially on the demonstration. You could have done better on the conclusion. I thought it was a bit too soft, maybe going strong with a stronger conclusion there. Jordan chasing a dog chasing butterfly. Very comfortable up here, very composed, very confident. Well done. You utilized a lot of good language. You said things like, you used the power of three. Whenever you stress on three things, there's a stronger association with that. So you said double incident, double kill, double trouble. Well done on that. So I thought you did a very good job, and you moved about the stage a little bit, and you also had eye contact. So well done on that, Jordan. Next up, we had Tanya at the doctor's surgery with the belly doctor. Very funny story, very good use of improv skills, just using what was said to find new ideas to what to say afterwards. So, and you took your time with the question, you got into it well done on that, and wrapped up well in the end as well. Chidi, sorry, sweet as candy. Chidi was a real gem here in the corner, shying away from the table topic, and comes up here and just slam dunk, you know. Valentine's Day, Tesco, Haribo. Use the audience. That was very clever. Use the audience. What would you get for Valentine's Day? And people here like Haribo. And you went to Tesco, Haribo, and you created this seductive, you brought this seductive vibe into the table topic. Very well done. And then you swiftly moved on to this proposal situation with the Haribo ring. And then you said how you had to consume the ring in the situation, which I thought was very well done. Great use of improv skills, just going from one step to another. Very well done. Finally, we had Alexia, Toastmasters meeting, used the question to your advantage. I really took it step by step, one step after another, added a bit of humor in there. Someone mentioned doctor, I went to the toilet. So that was very well done. Good use of improv skills and good use of the opportunity. So that's it from me. Thank you very much. Back to you, Paul.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Chira. So for our next evaluation, I would like to call on stage Kamal, who will be evaluating Zubair, who gave his icebreaker. So please welcome on stage Mr. Kamal.
Thank you very much, Paul. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we start with delivering the evaluation for Zubair, And because he's identified himself with a compliant personality, that means he likes data, a lot of data. So I'm gonna tell him, Zubair, today you delivered your speech in front of 24 people, in front of 3 cameras, and 21 degrees Celsius in Manchester, and your speech was about 5 minutes, 10 seconds. And we were in the first floor of Friends Meeting House in Manchester. Keep this data, please, because next time, if you're delivering the next speech, you can compare like your second speech by looking at the data as well and seeing your progress. The thing that I loved about Zubair's speech today is his speech was very informative. I loved it. So we learned about like types of personalities, but the only thing is when I heard like 60 personalities, I was like, how should I learn about all the 60 personalities? But I love to hear more about this because he was going to give only 4. Very well structured. You told us what we are going to talk about, 4 types, nice use and good use of body language, especially when you started like reciting personality type, you were moving slowly, number 2, number 3, number 4. So if you were delivering 60, I couldn't like imagine you doing it here. So which was really good. The call to conclude like your speech, it was like you used a very positive, like powerful expression, which is what everybody is genius, which was really good as well. So what I can recommend for you, Zubair, is to start with a bang, because what you did, you were a little bit dilatory in starting your speech. That means you came here and you took the microphone and you were mumbling a little bit, like it's going to take a little bit of time. So you started with excuses and you started with saying that this is my first time and blah, blah, blah and stuff. But actually, if you didn't say that, I would say that you are an expert in what you are talking about. So please, everybody who's delivering a speech, don't start with excuses, never, because it's not going to change anything related to your performance. So just start with a bang, like attracts people's attention and start delivering what you are going to deliver. Also, if we hear what people say, I've got a little bit of feedback from what people wrote. One here said, your mobile in your hands was a bit distracting. So this is something that to take on board for everyone who's delivering a speech. Avoid like taking some stuff to distract people's attention. Also, you could have like used a little bit of pauses, like voice, tone could change depending on the personality type. And also you could have used like a story to highlight why should we learn about these personalities? What is the benefit that we will take from learning about this? This is the question that the audience asks. Why should I listen to you? And to conclude my speech, we should learn that there are 2 types of speakers. There is one speaker, when he delivers his speech, everyone says like, wow, well done. And the second type of speakers, when he finishes his speech, people say, let's move. Okay, so there are like some people who just talked and we like what they were talking about. And there's some people, once they finish talking, we take action. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so thank you for that wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Kamal. Right, for our second evaluation, I would like to come to our guest, Jackie, who kindly agreed to evaluate our Toastmaster and our President, Ola. Please welcome on stage, Toastmaster Jackie. Yes.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and very welcome guests. What a sweet speech by Ola, wasn't it? Beautiful speech. And Ola has such power and such presence. I love the fact that he used a prop that is so unusual, isn't it? A chessboard. His speech was called My Leadership Style on a Chessboard. Unique and creative, loved it. Now, Ola's objectives were to share his leadership styles, his style preferences when working with others, how to adapt his leadership style in certain situations, and how they impact a group. Now, I do not play chess. I do know some of the names, but I don't know what they do. But that didn't matter because what Ola did was he showed us, he demonstrated to us each individual piece, what they did and how they impacted him and the things that he did in his leadership style. So for example, the knight, he shared with us that a knight can move backwards and forwards. And he demonstrated with his body. So great body language there. But also what he was explaining to us was that in your role as a leader, you sometimes have to move forwards, but sometimes you have to reflect and step backwards. So wonderful examples. What I also loved was he talked about the king, the power and the authority of the king. But he was humble in his opinion of the king because he said, never abuse your position. And that's exactly what you want from a leader. And his respecting of the queen, the female gender, again, the diversity in the group, the diversity of his speech and the respect of it was wonderful. My recommendation to Ola is he was a bit dilatory with his pieces, the chessboard. I mean, the pieces fell all over the place. So I would say, Ola, if you're going to use a prop, make sure that it is firmly fixed. What Ola could have done, he could have put it on a table, not a chair, because those pieces fell all over the place. They fell on the floor. And also those pieces were far too small. So my recommendation will be a much bigger board, much bigger pieces. But the speech certainly wasn't dilatory. It was a wonderful speech with great power, great presence, and a very, very sweet speech. Thank you, Ola, and I hope to hear a speech from you again.
Brilliant. Okay. So we won't have any evaluation for Julian because that wasn't. Huh? Yeah, yes, that was an educational speech, so there's no evaluation. He's that good, so we won't be evaluating. So crap. Oh, okay. Okay, let's take a minute now, please, to vote for the best evaluator. It's at the bottom of the paper. If you can write down the name. So first evaluator we had Kamal. Here you go. And the second evaluator we had Jackie. And we also had our table topic evaluator, Chira. Please stand up, Chira, so everyone can see you. Yes. Okay. Please take a minute. Not a minute, less than a minute. Shouldn't be that long. Some music on the background. Mr. President is moving smooth. Okay. Okay. No one used the word of the day so far, by the way. Wow, wow. I was just testing it. If you were listening. Right. Okay, for the next evaluation, I would like to call our counter, who is Tanya. She will give the evaluation for all our speakers.
Thank you, Paul. So I hope I don't get fired from this job because I don't know if I was meant to be evaluating the evaluators too and their ums and ahs. Okay, so first off, Jackie, there were 4 so's in your speech. Then there was Sam with 7 ums, Abby with 4, Ghana with 1, Uche with 3, Julian with 0. So amazing. We need some tips from you. Jordan 2, Tanya 2. And Chidi was 3 and 2 ums. Sorry, 3 you knows and 2 ums. Alexia was 0. Then on to the main speakers of the day. So Zubair, there were 7 ums. I'm doing it myself. 5 so's and 1 yeah. Ola 0 with his speech, did absolutely amazing. Julian 0. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Right, so next up we got our grammarian, who is Ronnie. Please.
Thank you, Paul. Absolutely wonderful day. I thought that we had a good day. I mean, everybody had a good speech, especially Chidi. I really liked it. So I believe I heard 2 people using the word of the day. One was Jacqueline and other was Kamal. So I would say Jacqueline, yeah, she's going to be the champ for using the word. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. And last but not least, we've got our timer, Diba.
Hello, I will report on the time of our speakers today, starting from the table topics. Jackie spoke for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Sam for 55 seconds. Abby for 50 seconds. Gona for 55 seconds. And then Uche for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Julian for 2 minutes. And then Jordan for 1 minute, 5 seconds. Tanya for 1 minute and 25 seconds. And Chidi for 1 minute, 27 seconds. And Alexia for 1 minute. And then moving on to our speakers for today, the icebreaker speech by Zubair. You spoke for 5 minutes, 10 seconds. And then Ola, who talked about the leadership, spoke for 7 minutes, 5 seconds. And then Julian spoke for about 8 minutes. And then our evaluators for today's, Chira, you spoke for 6 minutes, 30 seconds, a bit more than the time. And then Kamal spoke for 3 minutes, and then Jackie spoke for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Overall, everyone met the time, and good job for today. Thank you.
All right, so pardon me. This is the end of our meeting, pretty much. Before actually we end, and I pass the control over to our general evaluator, Tanya, who will conclude the whole meeting, I would like you all to stand up, because we've all been sat for too long. Okay. Please raise your hands if you're confident with your moves, with your dance moves. Who's confident here? Yes. You. Please come on stage. Those of you who think you're confident, please come on stage. Come on. Yeah. Yes. See, okay. We're all gonna learn quick moves. 2 minutes. It's only gonna take 2 minutes, okay? Come on. My favorite song, Candy, since we celebrate the theme, Candy, right? So we're all gonna learn a dance, okay? So it goes 2 right, okay? 2 left, yes? 2 back, 1 forward, 1 back, then you switch and continue. 2 right, okay? 2 left, yes. 2 back, 1 forward, backwards, switch. You got it, yes? You got it, I know that people. So 2 right, 2 left, 2 back, 1 forward, switch. You ready? Huh?
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise. Music, ready? Okay. Wait for it. 2 right, 2 left, 2 back, 1 forward, and then, yes, okay. Let's go. Right. And then switch. Up. Yes. The energy, come on. Okay. I don't see dancing something. Come on. Join. Hop. Yes. Okay. And left. And back. And forward and back. And switch. Oh, yes. Yes. Come on, Ben. Come here on stage. There's not enough space through there. Yes. And again. And again. And again. Yes, well done, well done. We've done a lot of things. We spoke today on stage. We gave some evaluations and we had some fun as well. So I would like to pass the control up now to our general evaluator, Tanya. Who will conclude the meeting? Please welcome on stage, General Evaluator Tanya.
Well, what a way to conclude, I think, the last Toastmasters of August. I think we should be dancing at the end of each session, actually. It's a good bit of energy in the room. Well, in terms of the overall evening, so my job, if for those of you who don't know, is exactly what it says on the tin. I evaluate generally everything that has happened in the session today. So I think it's a very special evening. Obviously, it's the 3rd anniversary, so actually 3rd birthday of Manchester Communicators, right? So what a fitting way to have a box of chocolates, to have a theme, which is I love candy as well. So I think first and foremost, I think we should give it up to Paul, because I think you've been absolutely brilliant today. So can we just have a round of applause? You really commanded the room well. You obviously injected your personality into this evening, which is exactly what it's all about. You brought the energy, you brought the good vibes, and it just shone through in terms of everybody. So awesome job. We started on time, which is great, and it looks like we're about to finish on time, which is also great as well. In terms of everybody's jobs as a Toastmaster today, everyone was spot on. The word of the day, if I had to critique anything, was a little bit hard. I mean, hats off to Jackie and Kamal for like putting it in your speeches earlier, but actually I couldn't actually think of a sentence to use that word. So perhaps, and I know what you were doing there, I know what you're doing, but maybe we could have kept in with the theme of celebration or anniversary or something like that, just to make it a little bit easier, especially for those that are here for the first time as well, so kind of throw into their speeches. Really impressed as well for the caliber of the table topics today. I think I've only been a Toastmaster for about 2 months now, but I have to say today's the table topics were like the best I've actually seen for first timers. Really succinct, really on the ball. Everybody was super confident. There was no like, oh, I can't do this, I want to get off the stage vibe. So yeah, really, really well done. But other than that, like, awesome job. If anyone else wants to add anything, feel free.
Okay,
Yeah.
What do you think about the evaluators? Give them something that you like it and something you would like them to do next time. For instance, Chira, what do you think he did great?
Well, Chira, you're always really great in terms of understanding people and really getting a lot from their speeches and really putting it into your words and what you can improve and what they can't improve. I perhaps would have liked to see a bit more constructive feedback on everybody. I think you gave it a lot to Julian. And because he can take it, I think, right? So you can give him a lot more constructive advice, but I think I probably would like to say with everybody, even the newbies as well that are here today. Kamal, same thing as well. I really like the way that you critique Zubair. That was great. In terms of everybody else, I think you all did a great job. So Jackie was like smashed it. Like, I think I've never met you before. I've never met you before, Jackie, but I can tell you've been here for a long time. I really loved how you put in the word of the day, and you said it twice, actually. So by the end of it, I knew what it meant. So because you used it in a sentence. So yeah. Anything else you want to add?
Well, you could say something about the timer, about the grammarian. Yes,
Yeah, everyone. Okay, great. All right. Well, is it Diba? Diba, you did a great job. You're a very analytical person, so I can really tell you're like totally suited to that role. Yeah, I think you hit everybody on the head there with the for the times. I think maybe I didn't know who went over the time, but you went over the time, right? So I don't know, maybe we can have a klaxon next time or a bell to try and get that person off the stage, because I think it's quite difficult when you're up here to see the cards. So perhaps maybe you could sit at the front, maybe just so whoever's on the stage can see, look, actually the red card is up. Tanya, great name. I think you did you did an awesome job as well. If it's your first time being an evaluator of any kind, and I know it's really hard to actually get the so's, the ums, and the yeses or whatever it is. So you have to really listen, but you did a really, really good job there. And Isabel, you know, you did great at the beginning as well, explaining, especially to everybody that's new. And who else am I missing, Julian? Because this is really
Yes, to conclude the meeting, I'm just going to pass the control back to our chairperson, Isabel, who will tell us who are the winners. Thank you.
Well, such an evening. It was all enjoyable, amazing speeches, table topics, evaluations, everything. And we celebrate that and we give some awards. So I'm now here to present the awards of the speakers we had tonight. And we will start with the table topics. And the award for the table topic of the day goes to, like the Oscars, Chiri. Congratulations. Amazing, well done. Now, for the evaluators, the best evaluation goes to Kamal.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for voting. And as usual, like my ritual, just take a selfie with like everyone. Here we go, another award. Thank you.
And finally, the best speaker of the night goes to Olaf.
And following Kamal style, selfie. Cheers. Who's not showing? Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, now some final, before we move on, we celebrate also that come for the first time on stage following pathways. You know, in Toastmasters International, it's not just about you go and speak, but we have support and we can choose a pathway that gives you these projects and help you with resources that help you develop your speech. So we have today the icebreaker, that is the first ever speech of a Toastmaster, and it goes to, it's very well done. So very pleased. Well done. Now, some more announcements. Next meeting will be September the 5th. Remember, in Manchester Communicators, we meet every first and third Monday of the month. So August was an odd month that we have extra Mondays, but we will meet again on September the 5th. And this will be a contest workshop. You get a bit of a flavor with Julian's speech. So we expect to know more about what is this contest. Now, I would like to invite all of you that came here for the first time, coming from the stage. Yeah. Wow, full house. Isn't it fantastic?
No space.
So first, I would like to please a big round of applause for all visitors. Very well done. And I want to ask you actually two questions. The first is what is the one thing you learned today? So, let's start from this side. What's the one thing you learned tonight? And if you are coming back?
Today, night is bring the pan, up and pour water. Absolutely fabulous.
Are you coming back? Great. Great, thanks. Now, Valentina.
Yeah. Yes, I'll come back. And self-belief, really. I think the confidence in everybody is amazing.
Great, thank you.
I'd say one thing I've learned is there are great communities around here in Manchester, pockets that I didn't know about. Today was kind of impromptu being invited by Paul. Will I be back? I hope so. I'm between here and London, so we'll see.
It was great watching everyone deliver amazing speeches. So I guess what I learned was just learning how everyone presents their confidence on stage, because everyone is different, the way they talk. So it was just nice seeing different styles and picking up on things that I can do myself. And will I come back? Yes, I hope so. That's great.
I've learned to try and pull my arms down to about 50%. And yes, I'll come back.
Great, thank you.
I've learned to just always be ready to be outside of your comfort zone and just get stuck into doing things that scare you a little bit. And I'll be coming back.
Thank you.
For sure, I'll be coming back, and what I've learned from here is that, yes, always be ready for something new coming up to you, and the session was very informative and learning new things. That's good. Thank you.
And what I've learned this evening is not to attract attention to myself during the table topics. Yeah, I would love to be coming back. So it's been great to meet you all.
This one is another club here in Manchester.
Yeah, it's completely different clubs. So they're both great. Yeah. Different response there. Yeah.
I think for me, it was realizing that we're all here for the same reasons, and that you're not judged, and that I felt really comfortable. So that's the main thing. I also want to thank Paul. He's a really great person, I'm sure, who knows him knows that. And yeah, will I come back? I hope so. Yeah, definitely.
I think for me, I got to see how a club is run differently to the club that I belong to. I'm a member of Toastmasters in London, Riverside Communicators, the best club in the universe that we keep telling you. Well, we always say it, and you have to believe it, I think. You're a wonderful club. I've really enjoyed this evening. Will I come back? That all depends if I move back to Manchester. So I may possibly be moving back, and I'm checking out other Toastmasters clubs. But I've had a wonderful evening. Thank you.
So today I learned that there's actually 64 personalities. I never heard that before. And another thing is I learned a new word, dilatory. I never had that one before as well. And yeah, I think I'll come back
Great. Thank you very much. Now you can return to your seats. One important part of Toastmasters is that the evaluations are super important to keep improving, right? So I have the evaluations for Julian, Ola, and Veer. Very well done. And with that, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. And with that, we end our meeting and have a safe journey home. Thank you.